Hey everyone! Today we're going to do a little mini pick-a-pile maiden voyage on the Magical Dogs Tarot that I had done a deck review of earlier, so I'm excited. We'll see what pops up. I paired it with Kipper just to get a little situational identifier for you, and I'll read from that book too, just in case it helps spark anything, confirm anything. I will go ahead and timestamp down below. Give you a moment here. Show you're intuitively guided to. Alrighty, if you have chosen mini pile A, we have Strength and Courtship, number 4. We'll go ahead and start with Courtship. Sorry about the glare, guys. It's a little better. Sure, you'll see the fan. All right, Courtship. Visiting was a major activity of the time period for people and an enormous body of etiquette surrounding proper visiting and correct courtship. We meet the potential couple in a morning dress seated in a restrained and proper French garden. If this card is interpreted literally about the early stages of a relationship, note that Cupid's bow is unstrung and has no arrow. No one's wildly in love yet. This card represents social life, all kinds of personal and business meetings, arrangements, clubs or groups, and friendly encounters. Be open for a new person who enters your life. Try to meet people and search for new contacts. Perhaps there is someone who will suddenly mean the world to you. In addition, courtship is an indicator for all private and public meetings. It's literally getting together, either socially, romantically, or for business reasons. Attempting to seduce or talk someone into something. The cards, there you go. There's no other cards. All right. We'll go ahead and get the advice from the doggies, the doggos. I'm excited. We have Strength, number 8. That may be of significance to you. In this tranquil scene, a Great Dane lounges on the green grass, surrounded by flowers in bloom and majestic blue mountains beyond. A small kitten pounces and then, grasping and biting, attacks the wagging tip of the tail. With unflappable calm, this patient giant observes his feline ward. Despite the powerful impulses of his canine instincts, he resists all urges to strike back against the many needle-sharp jabs digging into his tail. Understanding, compassion, and maturity stay in his paw. Self-control, tolerance, and love can soothe this ferocious feline. Pause for thought. This is the advice, guys. The strongest position is one of control over your own actions and reactions. Compassion towards those weaker than you is the true test of a powerful dog. Instincts are important, but sometimes overcoming them can be beneficial. Learning not to bend to a reactive knee-jerk position can empower your spiritual maturity and help you grow in a positive way. The key words or commands for this card, I love how they do this in this deck: strength, resolve, patience, self-awareness, courage, compassion, tolerance, and self-control. Now, coupled, this may seem like either you've met somebody that might be challenging to deal with, to say the least, in some form or fashion, either by personality or maybe they've got a lot of complications with their health or, where they come from, their money issues or whatever the situation may be. So just have some strength to persevere through it and see it with love and compassion. Okay? All right. At 4:22, let me write down the timestamp. If you've chosen B, you have the Fool in reverse and Child, number 18. I'm going to put the Fool up right for right now so you can see how beautiful the image is. Read the reverse. All right. Start with Child, 18. 18 breaks down to 9 if that has significance for you. We meet this happy, charming child in traditionally frilly clothes, clutching her beloved stuffed bunny in a Victorian nursery right out of Mary Poppins. In keeping with the time period when all children wore ruffles and petticoats, this card could mean any child. More abstractly, it represents innocence, naivete, the new, the simple, and the small. This contrasts with high honor, which can mean tall, but high honor is not here. It could be used for a timing of spring, Easter, or Ostara, although others differ. This card may indicate a child or children, your childhood, or your inner child. In many cases, it shows a new beginning. And coupled next to the Fool in reverse, there might be some hesitation for this new beginning, perhaps. This can be a new project, a new job, or a new love. We all start small. We are all beginners in this dance of life, so venture a complete restart. The child represents fresh start, something new, small, cherished, or little child. Its meaning of new or small can describe nearby cards. So maybe this new beginning doesn't seem good enough. It's possible. Near this one can bring grief, bad cards near, as it's vulnerable, right? Timing spring or shortly as well. So it could happen quickly. Now the Fool in reverse, according to the Dog Companion book. And I love this. And I will also read the keywords and the commands, see if that assists you as well. All right. A sunrise bursts forth over the horizon, illuminating a bountiful land. A new day's beginning greets a cairn terrier as she strides jauntily down a mountain path that runs beside a precipice. Behind her, in the far-off distance, can be seen other mountains and megalithic ruins, both symbols of the spiritual presence and the foundations that guide her. In her innocence, she has chosen to leave these things behind and embark upon a journey of mystery and discovery. But she is not alone. A guardian accompanies her in the form of a white butterfly, a representation of the transformation and rebirth that such travels will bring. Unsure of what may lies ahead, she goes forth undaunted. In the reversed, even an adventure should be tempered with responsibility and caution. Okay, so it's not so bad. Don't allow yourself to be led down the garden path. If you run off at every whim, you might just wander off a cliff. Oh, geez. Take a moment to look around and pay attention, and don't be fooled. The key words, also things to be on the lookout for: gullible, careless, foolish, reckless, impulsive, naive. So there would appear to be a short timed upcoming adventure. Just make sure you're making wise choices as you go. Just follow your heart and you should be okay. Your heart will never lead you astray. All right. And by heart, I mean your soul, not what your ego thinks heart is. All right. At 8:25, if you have chosen mini pile C, we have 10, the wheel. And we have number 3, marriage. Something is fated in some sort of partnership or connection. Perhaps, we'll see. What's great about the Kipper is that we don't have to wait for the happy ending. The wheel being in the upright says it is. All right. This is a positive card depicting an idyllic wedding in a fairy tale country church. It stands not only for a literal wedding when combined with other cards, but any kind of close contractual relationship, such as a business partnership or joint venture. More abstractly, it can represent any joining of forces. It is time to enter into a relationship, in private, in your job, or other social life matters. Join forces with someone, attract opposites, and find agreements. This card also shows all kinds of contracts. And it would appear that the wheel's in the upright, so it's a good one, right? Whichever one is coming down, you can recognize with. The marriage card stands for relationships, bonds, or friendships. It's good for relationships when it's ahead, and it is ahead of the significator. I would say that the wheel would be it. It's not surrounded by negative cards, only positive. That's good. There is no significant meaning to the depiction of cherry blossoms other than to suggest a spring wedding, which could have been a popular choice. The Victorian bride would carry an arrangement of edible fresh flowers, including marigolds, as she walked down the aisle. The dill from the bride's bouquet, also known as the herb of lust, was consumed by the bride and the groom and their wedding guests during the reception, as the herb was meant to increase sexual desire. Interesting. I didn't know that. All right. And the wheel. Let's see what the dogs have to suggest. Buoyed by mystical power, a great wooden wheel displaying the cycle of the seasons hovers before a sacred tree. The four spokes of the wheel mirror the four seasons, the four elements, and the four cardinal directions. An enthusiastic and happy dog, the spiritual descendant of the turnspit dogs of old, runs this wheel, turning both it and the endless cycles of nature. These cycles repeat over and over. As the seasons of the year wax and wane, this magical canine runs at the center. She is the arbiter of the ever-changing universe and draws her strength from its cycles. Pause for thought in the upright. It's always better to roll with the cycles than to try to derail against them. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop trying, but remember that all things change. Growth, decline, and renewal are always coming back around in their turn. During times of growth, rejoice in it. The marriage card kind of signifies that this is a good thing, so rejoice. Not during times of decline, hang on to your resources, knowing the time of growth will come back around. The key words for this card are good luck, cycles, destiny, timing, fortune, fate, change, karma, and transition. There you go, guys. Yay, Dog Tarot. Have a good one.